What's up everyone, Brad here with the Money Dad channel. In this video I want to give you 6 reasons why I think the stock market is going up this week and over the next couple of months. I'm very bullish on this stock market. I know we had a rough week, last 2 weeks really, but I think this is just kind of a blip in a much bigger picture here, and I'm going to explain everything in this video. So let's jump into it because I have 6 big reasons, okay? Number 1 is seasonality. We are at February 28th right now. Tomorrow we start a new month and we are entering 2 very strong months, the 2 strongest months of the year for the stock market, right? You can see on this chart, February is one of the worst performing months historically, and wouldn't you know it, we had a rough week. So I don't think there's any coincidence there. It just kind of jives with the history of the S&P 500, right? We have a ton of data here looking back on this chart, and the data suggests these 2 months coming up are going to be good, or they have been good in the past on average, so we have a higher chance of having 2 great months going forward, okay? So seasonality is with us over the next 2 months, so that's kind of a point to the bulls in that direction, right? And this video is going to be all points to the bulls because I'm bullish going forward. I want to give you guys a bull case. I'm trying to stay positive here while the market has been kind of selling off a little bit. So I do really believe that we are going up going forward. I'm just trying to explain my position to you, okay? So that is the first big point why I think we're going to be looking good over the next 2 months. The next big point is this chart right here. Look at this. This breaks down how the stock market performs in certain presidencies and the first year of their presidency. So we are in the first year of a Democrat president, right? So look at this light blue line right here. And you can see this light blue line on this chart. It kind of dips in January a little bit. It dips really bad in February. And then look at where this light blue line on this chart bottoms out. It bottoms out at the end of February, beginning of March timeframe, right here, right? What happens after that point, because this is where we're at in the calendar right now, what happens? It's pretty clear sailing after that, right? You head up, up and away from this bottoming point of the end of February, beginning of March, right? We're in a first-year Democrat president right now, this light blue line, and the light blue line suggests we've got pretty clear skies from here going forward. Now this is historical, none of this is predictive, doesn't mean that this is going to happen again, but when you look at the last, what is that, 70 years of data, you put all that data together and it's a pretty bullish looking picture. So that's big point number 2. And number 3 is stimulus checks, baby, all about the stimmies. So the House passed the stimulus bill this weekend, yesterday morning, actually. Doesn't mean that the stimulus bill has passed and we're getting checks, but it is a step in the right direction. Right now it has to go to the Senate and has to get approved from there. So it's not like we're getting stimulus checks tomorrow or anything like that, but when you look back at the stock market, when we get stimulus checks, the market does better. I went back and looked at my bank account, for example, and I saw that my stimulus checks hit my bank account on April 14th. So let's go back and look at where were we on April 14th? We were right here, right? All the way down on the S&P 500 at about 2,800, and the S&P 500 is sitting at 3,800 today. And then the next stimulus check I got was on December 31st. So where were we then? We were right here, right? And we were sitting at 3750 range on the S&P 500, and that was 2 months ago. And even after this sell-off, we are still sitting well above that mark. So stimulus checks, kind of stimulate the economy, right? They put extra money in people's pockets, and people go out and stimulate the economy with that. I mean, it's a win-win for everyone, right? People that don't have jobs need these stimulus checks to get by, but it also helps out the market and the economy because those people now have money to do things with that money. And when they do those things, that's helping more than just themselves, right? They go out and buy food. Whoever made that food, the grocery store that sells that food, they are all benefiting as well. So stimulus checks are a great thing for the economy. It's not good for the national debt, but that's a whole nother story. So the third big point here is stimulus checks look like they could be around the corner. It looks like this article is suggesting they have a soft deadline of March 14th that they're trying to get this done by, but who knows. I do think that they are probably within reach though, I would say. So big point number 4 is the Fed is still pumping money into this market. Nothing has changed here. They're still putting $80 billion into bonds every single month. That has not changed for years. They've been pumping money into this market for years and years and years, and that is a large reason why the stock market just continues to go straight up, right? The Fed is kind of propping it up with their massive bond purchases, right? They're purchasing all these bonds. They're keeping bond rates low, so investors look towards something else. Anybody that was willing to invest in bonds in the past that are no longer willing to invest in bonds because rates are so low, they look towards other investment opportunities, which is the stock market. So as the Fed keeps rates low, people look to other things to invest in. And the big thing lately has been the stock market. So the Fed is kind of indirectly pumping the stock market up, and that has not changed, and they have said that is not going to change for a long time. Don't fight the Fed, right? That's what I say. As long as the Fed is pumping money into the market, I am probably going to stay very long on the market. All right, and now let's get into some of the technicals here on the candlestick chart. That was 4 big reasons why, I think this market is going to continue to go up. Number 5, very short-term look at these candlesticks right here, these long tails on these candlesticks. That is a very bullish sign for what's kind of around the corner for the market. If you look at each retracement, not every single time, but pretty often, after we have a nice little consolidation phase, you see these tails at the bottoms of these candlesticks. That suggests a turnaround. It doesn't happen every single time, but more often than not, you will see tails at the bottoms of these candlesticks when we're about to turn around, right? Big tail here, turn around. Tails here, turn around. Doesn't happen every single time, but it is a suggestion because it happens more often than not. There's the data behind it that says, look, when we see these tails, there is a higher probability that we are going to head higher after we see these tails at the bottom of a consolidation phase or a downturn, right? So that is a very good look for the short term, over the next week or so. So I do think we're going to have a good week. I also think we're going to have a good couple months, like I was saying in the beginning of the video. And then lastly, guys, this consolidation phase right here that's been going on for the last 2-ish weeks happens all the time. Look, we just had one at the end of January. I can barely even remember that, and it was only a month ago. We just had one, back in October and one back in September. They happen all the time. You got one here in June. They happen all the time, and we still keep going up, right? The swings up are heavier, they're stronger than these little short consolidations, that take a week or two. This one took a long time, this one took a pretty long time, but we still recover really hard, really strong, really fast, and then keep going higher ultimately, right? We are sitting at levels that are higher than pre-COVID days, and that's after a major crash and many consolidation phases, right? So even though we've been consolidating for the last 2 months, it hasn't felt great. It's really not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. We are still significantly higher than we were a few months ago and a year ago, okay? So that's pretty much it, guys. I do think that this stock market is going higher this week. I do think it's going higher over the next couple months. And if you look at the history of the stock market anyway, you can see the stock market goes up if you give it enough time. Right? It always goes up if you give it enough time. If you play the stock market for a week, yeah, it's going to be a gamble. If you play the stock market for a year, it's less of a gamble. If you play it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's less and less of a gamble and more of a sure thing that you are going to make money, right? If you invested a year ago, you have made money. If you invested 5 years ago, you've made a ton of money, and so forth. So the stock market, you see the memes like stonks only go up as a joke, but that's actually true if you look at the aggregate of the whole stock market over a longer period of time, right? Yeah, if you pick one stock and you trade it for 1 week, then you can absolutely lose money in the short term if you don't know what you're doing, or even if you know what you're doing, because there's no sure things in the stock market. But if you're investing long term in, say, like an S&P 500 index, that's a basket of 500 stocks, you are going to make money over the long term. The data shows that this is a surefire guaranteed investment if you invest for the long term, right? So that's what I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I do stock chart pattern analysis mostly on this channel, but I think I am going to start doing some weekly market review type videos like you just saw in this one. So let me know down in the comments below if you liked this kind of video, and I will continue to make them if I've got some positive feedback. Okay, guys? Thanks.